in this, we need 3 pieces of alloy. So just somewhere safe off to the side. At this point, you want to wind this 3 times, starting behind the drop pin. So you have to bring it back right there, and now three total turns all the way around until it comes past that pin. And now with your left hand, you have to lift that pin up just enough, not too far up. There you go, right there. And now that's ready to actually release. So now we're actually ready to actually start the torch. So what you need to do is turn that, when I say quarter of a turn, maybe an eighth of a turn. And turn it back a little bit, right there. And now turn on the oxygen slow. It left, yeah. They just over tighten them sometimes. There you go. Oh, too much. Release that back. But bring it a little bit more, right there. Now what you need to do is heat up your crucible and your cradle. So what you want to do is just kind of wind it over that crucible. And once it starts to turn a little orange, you want to start heating this up. And you'll start seeing it glow a little bit, and that's right there is about all the heat you need on it. And now go right back to this and reheat. See how it's glowing? Now remove the torch from the cradle and just keep it somewhere safe, but with your other hand grab all your metal, keeping in mind where the heat is. And now drop that directly into that without touching anything hot. There you go. And now go ahead and put the flame right back into the center, keeping it right there in that middle of that area, not too far up where it's touching these cones, but not too far down. So what you're going to do is you're going to just kind of figure eight it. See how it's really hot here? Kind of stay in the middle of that. And I'm just circling it. You can kind of keep it still. Don't circle as fast or as far. See how it's starting to move a little bit? Now what we want to do is I want to take this out. Keep that flame right where you're at. And now with your other hand, see how it's moving? With this hand, go ahead and grab that handle, pull it back, and when I count to 3, release. 1, 2, 3, lift. There you go. Now go ahead and turn the gas off. Gas first, there you go. And then the oxygen. The wrong one. And then from there you can just set this off to the side so it's not going to hit that centrifugal force. And then what we're doing is we're just at this point in time waiting for that to stop spinning. Once that's done spinning, I just look to make certain the alloy goes into that sprue channel. And from there, then we're able to ready to pull it out. And you can throw the glasses anywhere. That's perfect. Sweet. I'm just slowing it down a little bit. And once it gets going slower and slower, if you know where the speed, you can actually stop it. Then once that's done, what you should have is you can see the alloy directly into that sprue channel. See it? So all we're doing is verifying that the alloy went directly into that. And then once it's done, we know it's there. And all we're doing is setting it off to the side to allow it to bench cool. From there, then we're going to divest the process. And if you come back at 2 o'clock, then we'll work on to the next phase, which is actually divesting the ring and getting it cleaned up, ready for you to actually do the metal finishing to it. That's the casting part. Sweet. Okay, so here's your investment ring. I'm assuming that's you.
That's me.
Yeah, because I think that's my scribing, because it didn't have scribe, so I always double check. Divesting's fairly simple. You're grabbing your investment ring. It should be cool to the touch. Mm-hmm. If it's hot to the touch on the outside of the ring, it's going to be hotter in the inside.
Gotcha.
So when it's lukewarm or warm, you want to just feel to make certain you're not going to burn yourself when that metal hits your hand. Divesting is simple as taking a hammer or something light. I use this. Just be careful not to cut yourself. And it doesn't take a lot of effort. I'm just tapping it. I'm not beating on it. I'm just tapping it so it cracks. See it? And then I'm just throwing away that. And then I'll just tap on the other side. It should come out fairly clean. If this is at anything warm, you can drop it in water. It will cool it. But I know these are cold just because they've had an hour. So in here, you've got your metal, your sprue, and your crown, and the rest of the investments on it. So now we have to aluminum oxide this material off of the crown. That's where this machine comes in. A couple different things have to happen. One, we have to pressurize it with air. So that brings this up right here, and you want to divest at about 3 bars of pressure at the most. You want to stay about 1.5 inches from it, and don't hold it in one spot. Aluminum oxide can punch holes through gold, through lighter metals. You're not going to do it on this, but just kind of get it to where you're doing it. I'm actually showing you right now, so I'm doing it.
Okay.
This is the nozzle. It's a point and shoot. You're pointing it, and you're going to sit here about that angle, and you're just going to rotate that until all that investment's off the entire surface of the metal. Intaglio, occlusal, proximals, buccolingual, all of it. So the way you trigger it is you step on that. The aluminum oxide from the tank gets pressurized through here and onto the crown. And you have to run it with vacuum so that the vacuum sucks up the rest of the aluminum oxide. That just gets put in, hand holds here. All you're doing is left foot or right foot stepping on it. And you can't really see because it's the surface of the glass has been frosted because aluminum oxide will do that. So all I'm doing is I'm just gently doing this as a demonstration to start with. You'll see it only takes me a couple seconds to actually do this. Once that's done, your crown is divested. Right. It's nice clean casting, no bubbles in it.
Hold that up and smile.
There you go.
Okay.
And that's as simple as it is to divest. Okay. Whenever you're ready, after you get done casting your gold crown or whatever crown you're trying to produce, first thing you're doing before you even de-sprue it is you're going to go to the intaglio of the actual crown itself, and you're going to remove any positive bubbles with the number 2, number 4 round burr, whatever burr you prefer to use, until all the positives are removed under magnification. Once the positives are actually removed from under magnification, you want to use an occlude or some sort of a spray indicating paste that you will gently spray over the entire die surface of your die. And then you're going to gently actually seat the crown over the die itself, pull it off, and anywhere that's high spotted with the color of red, green, whatever color you're using, you just remove those high spots until you get your crown to fully seat. Once the crown is fully seated using the indicating paste, then you're ready to go and de-sprue your crown, finish the crown by reshaping from the sprue, doing your occlusion, your mesial contact, all the way through the final polishing of the actual crown itself. If it's a high noble alloy, full golds with 70% or a malleable alloy, you can actually go back if you feel that there's a certain area of the margin that's open, and you can actually burnish the margin back with a shaft of a discoid, cleoid, or any metal instrument you have in your kit, and you can just gently burnish those margins to close those margins on the die. Once everything's
Would you do
closed,
it on the die or off the die?
I do them off the die, but then I retrofit it directly to the die.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it off and then putting it on. I'm not going to do it while it's sitting on the die.
Yeah.
I don't want to damage the die. The die is the most important aspect. If I damage the die, I can't complete the crown without guessing at it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do all the burnishing off, and I just go gently as it goes until I can get that perfect closed area. And then once that's done, I'm ready to move on and produce the crown and log it out, send it back to my dentist or provider or whoever it is. So other than that, there you go.
Oh.
Okay. On here, if you're getting this flash that comes through on your margins, that's usually caused by the dipping wax. It's very soft, pliable, and you'll get that flash all the time with that. All you're going to do is you're going to take a rubber point, as I was talking before,
And with your polishers, you're just going to gently take that flash back after you seat your crown, and that will just polish those straight off. If you try to take a burr to it, you're going to gouge and you'll wind up taking too much off. So stick to the rubber points, diamond pregnant rubber points, and that will take that off. And then from there, then you can go into finishing it up from there. I don't use dipping wax, never have, won't ever. I do everything with a casting wax. I build it up from core all the way to the top with a casting.